welcome back. I'm Jess.
I'm Chris.
And on this video, we're going to cover PCSing to England with pets, specifically more than 2.
Yeah, so we'll go over our situation specifically, not necessarily what everybody's situation is, but what we had to deal with. Some of the highlights that we're going to go across is your first vet appointment, researching and purchasing the kennels, figuring out your travel, schedule your final vet appointment, the travel day, arriving in UK, and then finally the total cost.
Right. And so when you finally get your assignment, congratulations. You're moving to England. That is something to celebrate. That's pretty exciting. We were pretty stoked to get orders to England.
So let the excitement get in, but then as soon as you get a breath, make sure you go directly to your vet.
Yes.
Try to figure out, let them know where you're going, what you're doing, and they'll help you out with your first steps along that.
Yeah, so I know that we have 2 dogs that are senior, so we wanted to make sure that they were healthy enough to travel. So you want to make sure that they have everything that they need to travel across, across the ocean. And that I know that the UK has some breed, requirements to where they do not allow some breeds over here. So, they are pretty strict on some breeds.
Yep, and the vet can bring you through all that. So that's
And we will also have links below, so you can do your own research in the description. So, and I will also have links to Facebook pages that I found useful with PCSing, and so on and so forth. So.
And do the research sooner rather than later,
right.
Because it's better to know what you need. Oh, and also at that first point too, figure out if you have the possibility of using a, what's the airplane?
The rotator.
The rotator, or if you are going to have to, we knew we were going to have to go commercial to begin with because we had 3. If you have 2 or less, you can go with the rotator, and those are different requirements. We're not going to touch on those because obviously we didn't do that, so we don't know all the ins and outs of that one.
Right.
Next up, kennels.
Kennels. So because we have a large breed dog, which is a German Shepherd, we had to get the largest kennel, which is a 700 series, and those are pretty hard to find. So we had to go to quite a few stores, and we were only able to find one. And when we were able to find that one, we swooped it up, and it was pretty pricey. So that is one of the top things that we say. If you know you're going to fly commercial or even not commercial, and you have a large breed dog, and you may have to have a custom crate.
Yep, err on the side of caution when it comes to the size of
right.
the kennels. We didn't to begin with, so we had to scramble at the last minute to get the larger one for our German Shepherd.
Right.
We are extremely happy that we did because there's no way she would have passed inspection otherwise.
Right. We will also be adding, like little blurbs to show you, her size up next to the kennels. So you will be seeing that here momentarily.
In video too. Yes, you got to go as well. So when you're looking at the kennels, the big thing is the size on. There we go. Stay. They're going to verify that her ears aren't going to touch the top and that she'll be wide enough for the entire kennel. Sit. That's it. And also, you can see when you bring her down this level, her head won't touch the top. Obviously, she's going down a little bit, but her ears won't poke up.
For international travel, this one did not have... you have to have all 4 sides have to have holes, and so we had to drill holes on this one. So and this was accepted, so we just drilled. We took a drill and we drilled holes in it. So right here we had to put some mesh up so the dog's paws could not poke through. So we had to make sure that we added this, and we made sure that we taped it up just so that the dogs would not get cut.
And you want to make sure when you secure these, it's to the outside to where, like you said, they don't get cut. It's not in messing with them from the inside or anything.
And then, so you want to make sure that you have the metal bolts, and we had to buy these separate.
Feeding bowls, metal screws are very important. A lot of the kits won't come with the metal hardware because the airline kits that you're going to get are specifically for domestic flights. International flights require you to have metal hardware everywhere on the kennel.
Right. And then, so what is it? So we have 2 older dogs, like I had previously mentioned, and we bought extra padding for them. So because they suffer with arthritis, we went ahead and bought cushier beds.
Yep, and you're allowed to let them have different cushions that they need. You're required to have a absorbent pad in case they have an accident or whatever during the travel, so it doesn't get around the rest of the plane.
Right.
But yeah, we opted for a couple extra paddings just to make it more comfortable for them.
Right.
Step would be figuring out your travel.
Yep.
Once you figure out your travel, you want to talk with the broker.
Yep. So if you're not going to fly on the rotator, you're going to be flying commercial, and you're going to need a dog broker. Mm-hmm. And we used Silver Birch Pet Jets. Highly recommend them. You do not need to use them. I will have a link below. And then also a Facebook page that has all of their contact information on there. You do not have to use them. They offer different packages, and they were extremely helpful with our 3 dogs.
Yeah, we went with the gold package or whatever the premium one is, to where they helped us out with all the paperwork, receiving the dogs, and then they even brought us up to our Airbnb, which it takes a load of stress off you. You still need to worry about the little details, but they help. And the end of it, when you get there and you can breathe a sigh of relief, and they'll take you where you need to be.
Right.
Also, make sure you contact TLF. Like I said, we went to Airbnbs.
Right.
But you need to make sure that TLF has pet-friendly rooms. They allow up to 2 animals. And then you can request a
exception to policy.
Thank you very much. Ours wasn't accepted, which is fine. It is what it is. We kept that receipt, and the military can reimburse Airbnbs as long as you exhaust all of the resources with hotels and everything else.
Correct. And because we have the 3 dogs, it was really nice to be able to stay off base and be able to have walking paths.
Yep,
really
in the
close.
yard, right outside. We won't have to worry about going upstairs, downstairs, everything else.
Right. With 2 dogs that have arthritis, it's really nice to have them stay on the bottom floor.
Yep.
And the broker will let you know that you will need the NATO orders. TOR is transfer of residence. So you're going to make sure that you get that taken care of, so you do not get charged the VAT tax over here on your customs fee. That is one of the many things that will be a relief for you at the end of the day.
Yeah, so you still have to pay the customs fees that's associated with bringing animals into a country, but with that, you don't have to pay the VAT, which is their equivalent to sales tax, more or less.
Correct.
And then also with your travel, if you're not going on the rotator, you need to make sure you get circuitous orders, which allows you to go out of any airport that you choose, and you'll put that in your orders. MPF will take care of that, and you'll be good to go. But that is an important fact, because otherwise then you're going to be going out of Baltimore, and that may not be where you want to fly out of.
All right.
And then so you want to start booking your flight as early as you can after you get orders. Once you get the orders, the whole process done. Okay.
Book your tickets. Once you book your tickets, then you're going to want to contact cargo. And I'm going to let you take that over, because I did not deal with cargo. You dealt with cargo, and they were fantastic, but he done all of the cargo dealings.
Yep. So when you come into England, you need to make sure when you talk with the representative that you have dogs that you're bringing and you're on military orders, that they specifically bring you to the cargo section. The regular people answering the phone, they're helpful. They can get your flights changed around, but the cargo people are the only ones that know how to deal with the animals specifically. Because other than that, they'll want to do check bags. You cannot do check bags, even though they have a clause in their airline that they're allowed to. So talk with cargo, and they'll get you all squared away. They get your information. They push it over to UK, and then once that's squared away, you get your airway bill number. And that's what they use.
And you'll get your airway bill number to your broker.
Yep. So they can track them as well.
So the broker can work with, is it?
Hark.
Yep. Here with customs here that will accept your pets, and they'll work all of that. So which we were dealing with Hark. But let your broker take care of all of that.
Yep. And what they recommended to us was fly on a red eye, because you need to give them ample opportunity to check in the dogs, get them cleared. Because if you come at the tail end of their duty day, they're just going to quarantine them for that night, and you'll have to deal with it the next day. So that's what we really want to harp on too, is when it comes to these little things that we've picked up along the way. It's because we've heard of other people getting their dogs quarantined for one reason or another, and that is a lot of extra funds on top of what we didn't have to pay for, thankfully. Right. But we want to try to prevent that for anybody we can.
Right.
Make sure they're on the same flight with you. That was because you can have them, because you're going with the broker. You can have them go on a different flight. But for us, it was a lot easier. We had a direct flight, so we had the dogs below with them. We got to see them loaded up, and we loaded on the plane too. So that was really nice feeling. After
you have got your flight, got your pets booked with cargo, you're going to want to schedule your PCS pet, like your last vet visit. Yep. We went through a military vet, which was really nice. We didn't have to have a USDA certifier, because a military vet is USDA certified. So they're able to sign everything, and it is accepted by the government here.
Yep. Yeah, we highly recommend go with military vet. You can go with your civilian vets, like she said. There's just a couple more hoops. They're not familiar with doing it off like a military vet is. And secondly, they don't have that secondary certifier for USDA, like she said, the military has regardless. So
right. Make sure your dog's microchip.
Yep.
Microchip numbers, their
the
rabies vaccination, their batch number, and the actual vaccine name is on the, it's on that health certificate and written out.
The vaccine type and the manufacturer.
Yeah, when it's written out, and then when they're given the dewormer, that is also annotated.
Yep. Yeah, with the specifics, with the manufacturer, the dose, and when it was given and stuff like that.
Correct. And also double check again that it is also that the chip number is correct.
Yep.
Because if it's not, your dog could also be quarantined because of that. If it is just a clerical error, 2 numbers are switched, it could be easily a week your dog is in quarantine because a clerical error.
Or more, and that's the thing with Hark. Like, they did a really good job for us. We were very, very, very specific on the paperwork to make sure that we went through every piece of paperwork for every dog, making sure the microchips are the same, the batch numbers were good, et cetera, et cetera.
Also, we sent everything ahead of time, and they checked, they found some errors. We went back as soon as it was found, and we said, okay, this needs to be fixed. And how do we get it? I don't care if we need to pay for it to be done again. What do we need to do? And the vet and whoever, they were like, oh, yep, no problem. We'll get it fixed right away.
Yep.
And it was done right on the spot. It was nice to know that it was caught, but with the time difference between here and the US, it was kind of a delay. And so at the last minute, it was the Silver Pet Jet, Silver Birch Pet Jet found something at our last appointment. I sent the paperwork to them to verify, and they were like, oh, you need to go back and get something redone. And we were like, okay, and we went back and got it redone. Within a couple hours to get enough time to get on the plane.
Right.
So,
and Hark is always going to err on the side of caution, which we understand. You're a foreign citizen coming into their country with animals that have never lived here before. Correct. So they're always going to err on the side of caution. But that's why if you're in America, take care of all that stuff there, because everybody's going to help you out as much as they can. Right. Up until you get to Hark, then that's when, once you reach a roadblock, it is very difficult to get around from what we understand.
Right. And then so once that is done, then you're going to drop your dogs or your animals off at cargo. And what?
One other thing, the appointment needs to be more than 24 hours, but less than 120 hours of you arriving. Right. The vet appointment. Then you arriving in country. That's specifically for the deworm or for tapeworm. And they'll timestamp that, and then you have, it's roughly 1 to 5 days to get into country.
And then drop off at cargo. That is a very stressful time because your dogs are not understanding, your cats are not understanding what in the world is going on, and you are also on a time crunch to get to your plane. So, we allotted for a little bit of time. So we had dropped off all of our baggage, or all of our luggage prior to
our checked baggage,
and then got all of our
and got our tickets booked at that point.
Got all of our tickets printed off.
Yeah.
Before we went and checked our dogs in at cargo, which helped out tremendously.
Yep.
And then so we took the dogs to cargo, got their kennels built, and that took a minute. And then they take them out and they size them up to make sure that they're good to go, and then they weigh the kennel. You can speak on all of that because you put them in, they weigh the kennel and the dog together.
Yep. Yeah, they'll weigh the kennel first, then they'll weigh the dog and the kennel together. Just to give you a rough estimate, our German Shepherd's about 60 pounds, but the shipping weight we had to pay was for 106 pounds. So with the kennel and everything, you're paying that whole bill. Like she said, though, it is very stressful. If looking back on it, we would have baked in another hour to give ourselves for building the kennels, because we weren't anticipating that. That was something that kind of caught us short, because they say arrive like 8 hours prior or something like that, which is great, but they assume that you already have the kennels already built.
Yeah, we were riding in a little van with 3 dogs and a family of 4.
Plus their kennels and our luggage.
Right. So it was not possible.
So yeah, and then they'll take them once you get them weighed in and checked in. You pay there, they palletize them. Once that's done, they give you the receipt, and then it's up to you to take care of you and your family to get on the airplane.
Right. I can't stress enough, be kind to the people that are taking care of your animals. There was some horror stories of people being ugly to them, and these people are taking care of your furry babies. So I can't stress enough, if you're kind to them, they're going to be kind to your animals. This is their job.
Yeah, right. We understand that they're providing you a service. They provided us a service, but that doesn't entitle you to be a jerk to them. Right. Understanding that you're just as stressed as the next person is, and they get that to a point, but being a jerk is still being a jerk, so try not to do that.
Right. Traveling is stressful, and they know, but man, I can't stress it enough. They were so very kind. So if you go in kind, they will treat you with kind. One of our dogs' bowls broke, and they went out of their way to find us a bowl, and gave us an extra bowl for free. Yep. So if you go in kind, they will make sure and take care of you. So that's just something that I wanted to throw out. So after that, we you will get on the plane. You'll see your dogs be loaded. I think that was the one thing that I liked, is seeing my dogs get loaded onto the plane that I knew that I was about to get on. And I knew that they were going to be arriving when I arrived. And I was going to wait for them, and they were going to be released when and I was going to be able to see them and ride to the Airbnb with them. So when we arrived in country, I paid the customs fee. So we had got that. You're able to pay it ahead of time, but I paid it when we got there. Get that done, and I was able to get that paid. And so that's one thing, that you have to get paid your customs fee before your dogs can be released.
Yep. And then, so as soon as you land, make sure you contact your broker, and then understand that your phone probably is not going to work. Hook up to Wi-Fi, get on Facebook, however you were contacting them before, email, and make sure they know that you've arrived.
We were contacting through Facebook.
And that worked out super well for us. And then, so make sure they know you arrived, which they probably already do because they have the airway bill number. But it's good to be in contact as soon as you touch down.
And they'll let you know that the dogs or your animals were accepted by customs and that they're doing good.
Yep.
Which was really nice.
They're out of their kennels, they're doing well, whatever the situation is, they'll give you a quick little update.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like I said before, once you get there, expect a delay for them to release the animals. They say anywhere from 6 to 8 hours, roughly. So we got there, when did we touch down? 9, 10 o'clock in the morning.
9, 10 o'clock, yeah.
And we got lucky. It only took about 3 or 4 hours. But even then, after you're flying in a red eye, it's pretty taxing on you and the family sitting in the airport. So just be prepared mentally to deal with that. Yeah. And then after all that's said and done, you just sit back and wait for the broker to contact you.
Yeah. And then we were picked up. Our dogs were in the back. And we were taken to our Airbnb, and our dogs were with us in country at the same time. And that was so nice to know that we all left on the same day and we all arrived on the same day. And it was very nice.
Yeah.
So we hope that this information is useful to you.
So finally, the price. Right, it's on everybody's mind. How much does it cost? Keep in mind, going forward, the Congress has authorized up to a $4,000 reimbursement for service members PCSing overseas. So that's really going to help out for us. Unfortunately, we didn't qualify for that because it came in after the fact, but it'll help us out on the return trip.
Correct.
So just to run down on all the different fees that we had to deal with. You have the biggest fee is going to be the cargo from the airlines. It was over $2,000. You got the UK custom fee, the UK broker. You got to pay for the kennels, obviously. Both vet bills, the comfort mat, any hardware, feeding bowls associated with the kennels to make sure you can customize them to make sure that they can ship okay. And then any other fees for hotels, rental vehicles that don't authorize pets without a different fee. Anyways, all said and done, the grand total was
$5,500.
Yeah, $5,500.
It was quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
So, we knew it was going to be a pretty penny, but
just prepare yourself.
At the end of the day, I would do it again because all 3 of my animals are here with me. They are part of my family. And yeah, I would do it again. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
So if you have any questions for us, please leave a comment below. We're here, happy to help in any way we can.
Yeah, don't hesitate to ask. If we don't know the answer, which we
don't know.
We could not, but we know who to ask at this point because we've gone through the whole process.
Right.
We know good people to ask and where to get the right information.
Right. We can also point you in the right direction if we can't answer it for you. Yeah. Also, please let us know if you would like us to do anything else, any other videos that you would like,
during the transition or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you and look forward to having you watch us again. Bye.